Hello and welcome back to the Planning Pulse. With you as always, my name is Matt Harvison, the Principal Practice Lead for Workday Adaptive Planning at Acorio. With me to continue our series within a series is Tess, Anna, and Daniel. We're going to be talking about the second half of Workday Data Management today, which is publishing back from Workday Adaptive Planning back to Workday Financials, Workday HCM. The first episode, we talked about Workday Data Management, bringing data into Adaptive. This one, we're going to be talking about getting data out. And then our last, to wrap up the series within a series, is going to be focused around tenant migration strategy. Specifically, how do we do that? How do we work inside of implementation environments, sandbox, and production? But today, focusing solely on getting data out of Adaptive back into Workday Core. When we talk about publishing, maybe Daniel, throw it to you. What does publishing from Adaptive back into Workday mean to you?
Yeah, great question. In terms of starting here, you're able to publish data for both financials and workforce. In our previous session, we showed you guys the ability of publishing workforce actions, which is essentially either you create positions or your job requisitions. But sticking with the workforce planning aspect as well, you can do headcount planning. And then from the financial side, you could do financial published, which is just publishing your budget data back into Workday as well, into the different plan templates and structures of that nature. But I'll segue that to Tess in terms of what do we need to do within Adaptive and what capabilities need to be enabled for us to allow for this functionality.
Yeah, so there are a few considerations that you need to think about if you want to be able to publish data back into Workday. The first one is that you need Power of One to be enabled. That's going to be that sort of back-end connection of your Workday tenant to your Adaptive tenant. And then after that, you'll need to set up user sync. That's because your users need to exist both in Workday and Adaptive so that it can tie those users together and confirm that they have the proper security both on the Adaptive side and on the Workday side. Another thing you'll need to consider is you'll have to have metadata set up for every element that you do want to publish back into Workday. So that's for your levels, your accounts, your dimensions. You'll need to make sure metadata is set up using the WIDs, which come from Workday. That's the unique string that will allow those elements to be read back into the system when it reaches Workday. And finally, you'll also need to make sure you have no duplicate mappings. So all of your mappings will need to be one-to-one. Otherwise, the system won't know which element in Adaptive should correspond to which Workday element. And then I'll pass it off to Anna to show us what that publish looks like.
Sure, yeah, I can pull up an example. The example I have is going to be more on the HCM side. So we have our tenant set up, it's a workforce planning tenant, and then just talking through how publish headcount would work from there. A couple of quick call outs would just be your version has to be enabled for headcount plans. When it comes to the permission, person publishing needs to have ability to publish. But putting all that aside, just to jump in, when you click into the menu, you'll come into your publish plan section here. All you have to do is call out whether you're doing a headcount or a financial. We only have headcount set up in this tenant, so it's just going to be headcount here. You can select which version you want to publish from, since this is the Adaptive version that you're publishing your headcount from. And then select which plan it is. So for us, we're going to be using the publish headcount V1. Once all that's set up, it's as easy as just hitting the publish button, and then that pushes over to Adaptive. It does take a second to load, so I'm just going to pull up a prior one, which is just clicking into it. So hyperlinked, you just click view publish from here. Opens up on this side. We can pull up the plan. Just keep clicking into view, and then that kind of gives us the full headcount plan here, which does give you a breakdown of month by month, what's the planned headcount, what's the planned FTE, and what's the planned cost, based on different dimensions there.
Excellent. Thanks, Anna. So one of the benefits of having both core HCM or core FENS with Workday Adaptive Planning is to be able to create the bidirectional flow of information from the source into Adaptive, perform the planning process, and then as Daniel laid out, the different methods of being able to publish back into your core environment, whether that's new hire requests, whether that's financial plans. So guys, anything that you want to leave the audience with for us today that's specifically related to publishing or the publish action back into Workday HCM or Workday Financials?
The one thing I'd add is I know I kind of walked through what it looks like in HCM. The process would be very similar when it comes into the fin side. You'd just be publishing back what your actual budgeted data for a year is. So by GL account, by level, by dimensions, you'd just be pushing back like, hey, this is my budget. So now you're sending it back to Workday just so you have it available for reporting in Workday too. So that would be like the benefit of doing it for the fin side.
Excellent. Pastor Daniel, anything else to add?
No, I think Anna summed it right up for us, and appreciate the time.
Yeah, I would just say that one consideration would be, if you're not yet ready to publish data back, we can still set your integration up so that you are prepared down the road once you get to that point.
Yeah. Absolutely. Appreciate that, Tess. Well, like I said, this is the second of the third mini series, I guess, second of three that we'll be doing inside of our larger integration series. This one specifically on publishing back to Workday HCM and Workday Financials. The next one that we're going to be seeing, I'm still going to have Tess, Anna, and Daniel with me. I'm going to start calling them Tad. I'm going to have Tad with me on the next episode as we dive a little bit more into the tenant migration strategy. But until next week, if you have any questions or want to reach out to learn a little bit more, you have our email addresses, and you will see us next week. You can plan on it.